What if I told you some of the worst contracts in NBA history weren't actually mistakes? Not because the front office was incompetent or the general manager made a terrible decision and got fleeced, but rather because there wasn't a better option. Because every NBA team at one point or another has had to make the answer to an impossible question. Do you pay a player for who they are? Or do you pay a player for what you think they can become? That's the $1 million question. And if you get it wrong, there goes your championship window. In today's video, I wanted to talk about why restricted free agency is a trap in itself and why it's so difficult to manage and get through it. Before we hop into the video, guys, if you like this kind of content, please shoot your boy a like and a subscribe. It means the world to me. You guys have been killing it lately, and I already have almost 500 subscribers. You guys are awesome, and I love talking to each and every one of you guys in the comments. So without further ado, let's hop into the video. The NBA draft gets all the attention. Finding that superstar, changing your organization overnight. But the truth of the matter is, drafting the player, while it's hard, isn't the hardest part. The hardest part is keeping them, because eventually your rebuild is due for a graduation. Those young prospects turn into elite talent, which is the name of the game. That's what we're looking for. However, with elite talent comes big contracts. Suddenly, your cute little baby-faced assassin is worth $300 million a year. Ooh, time to make a decision. How much do you believe in them? Not after they've become stars, but before. That's the impossible part. The most obvious example, you guys are probably listening to me and you're going,
Bailey, that's Jalen Duren. You already made a video about Jalen Duren. It was your first video, you ass.
You're partly correct, but I want to bring it back up in a different way. Jalen Duren is only 22 years old. He's one of the league's best rebounders, an elite lob threat, physically dominant. Did I say he's only 22? He's shown incredible flashes of being one of the best centers in the NBA for years to come, but he is also far from a finished product. You could ask a lot of questions about him as a player, his rim protection, his defense, his shooting ability, but yet the Pistons don't get to know the answer to those questions before they have to give an answer. They have to decide what he's worth today. That's terrifying, because if they're wrong for years. The whole point of restricted free agency was to help your team by making it a little bit easier for you to keep your stars. It sounds fair on the surface, but it does end up creating a trap. Imagine another team offers your favorite player, who's a restricted free agent, a huge contract. That leaves you with two options. Match it or lose them. That's it. There's no magical third option. The market decides, and sometimes the market isn't rational. And fans love, including myself sometimes when I'm in a rut, you know? We love saying, let him walk. But imagine being the Pistons. Imagine having to be the GM. You just spent 4 years of your life developing Jalen Duren. You invested minutes, practice, coaches, resources. He's finally becoming a good player, and then, with the snap of a finger, you lose him for nothing. No matter how you want to write it, it sucks that way. But then at the same time, paying him also carries its own risk. The thing that seems to get lost is every dollar you spend on one player cannot be spent elsewhere. You're locked. And that's the quiet killer for NBA championship windows. Not because your star wasn't good enough or because the supporting cast became too expensive. The problem is that one contract becomes two becomes four, and suddenly you're paying luxury tax money for a team that isn't good enough to win a title. And that's the nightmare. We've seen this play out to a T before. I want to take you back to DeAndre Ayton, 2022. Phoenix was in a very similar situation to Jalen Duren. To an extent. DeAndre Ayton just helped them reach the NBA Finals, where they did lose. However, he was a vital part of their team moving forward, it felt like. Former number 1 overall pick, incredibly young, full of potential, and great results for a rookie campaign, a rookie contract campaign. If they were to let him walk, you lose him for nothing. And if you paid him the full money, you risked overpaying for a player you weren't completely sold on. Neither option felt good. But unfortunately, Indiana came knocking with a full max contract on the offer sheet, which left Phoenix no choice. They had to match it. People criticized the contract and they were pissed off. But no matter what the decision was, they couldn't make the best decision. Imagine the criticism if they let their center cornerstone, who just led them to the NBA Finals, leave for nothing. Either way, there was no winning this decision. Someone was going to come out pissed off about it. Unfortunately, sometimes the front office has to choose between two bad options. People love saying, "Oh my gosh, that was an overpay." And maybe they're right. Sometimes it is an overpay, but let me ask this. What was the alternative? Because rebuilding teams don't get unlimited chances. If you miss in the draft, you can draft again. If a veteran leaves, it sucks, go sign another one. But if you let a 22-year-old with a lot of potential walk out the door for free, those opportunities don't come around very often. That situation specifically. And that's where the tough decision comes into play. It's not that they want to overpay, it's that replacing young talent is extremely difficult. That's where Detroit finds itself. Jalen Duren might be a 40-time All-Star when it's all said and done. He might be one of the top 10 centers in basketball of all time for all we know. Or maybe, who knows, he settles in as a decent center in the NBA. The truth is, nobody knows. Not you, not me, not the NBA team themselves. Not even Jalen Duren knows. But the Pistons won't get to wait until they know. They have to make the decision first. And that's what makes building a championship so difficult. Fans think it's about drafting stars. It's not. It's about predicting the future. So maybe the next time we see an overpay for any team, not just the Pistons, instead of asking ourselves, what were they thinking? Maybe we should be asking, what would I have done? This leads me to my question for the end of the video. I would love to get some input. Where is the line for you guys? Where do you draw the line of saying, let him walk? It's not worth it. That's all I got for today, guys. Thank you so much again for all the love. Here's some other videos that I have posted recently. If you guys are interested in these, click them right here. But if not, again, feel free to like and subscribe. Love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.